Welcome to Shenandoah National Park in Virginia. I'm so happy to be back here. Today I'm going to take you guys on my favorite hike from when I lived in Washington, D.C., and that hike is Old Rag. This hike, according to AllTrails, is 9.3 miles. It's a loop, but you know that AllTrails lies, so that probably means it's 10 miles. So this hike is not just a hike, it involves a good deal of rock scrambling. So I think that keeps things exciting, makes it really interesting. It's a tough hike, be forewarned, but it's a really, really fun hike. I used to do this one all the time when I lived in DC. I missed it. I haven't done it in 5 years. So finally I'm back. I'm headed to Trail Days. It'll be past by the time you guys see this video, but this weekend I'm heading to Trail Days, so I'm stopping and doing this hike on the way. Anyway, come along on this adventure. This is the main parking lot at the Trailhead, nice and big, plenty of room. I gotta show the ranger my national park pass and my day use permit. This is a pretty heavily used area, very popular hike, so they started the day use permit thing a couple of years ago, so you gotta make sure you get that ahead of your hike. I'm immediately struck by how green everything is and the many bird calls. Ooh, a tulip poplar flower. I love these trees. These forests are so lush and green compared to what we have in Colorado. Oh my gosh, it's so humid here. I'm like not even a mile in. I'm already sweating. And I realized I forgot to put deodorant on today. Actually, I didn't forget. I just couldn't find my deodorant, and then I forgot to look for it again before I left for this hike. Whoopsies. I'm gonna smell. So when I used to come out here when I lived in DC 6+ years ago, you didn't need a day pass. You could just come. And there was a different parking lot. It was a tiny little parking lot. Well, maybe not tiny, maybe not for like 25 cars, but much smaller than the one they have now. And you knew if you were gonna come on the weekend, you really had to get here early or you weren't gonna get a parking spot. But now they have the day use passes, they have a bigger parking lot, they have a backup parking lot. So it seems a bit easier, but it's definitely gotten busier than it ever was because today's Monday and that parking lot I just parked in was huge and it was pretty much full. And if you used to come on the weekday, it'd be empty. So what are these people doing? Not working. That doesn't apply to me. I have the day off. Loving all of these beautiful ferns. Oh, it's got one unfurling. Cute. That's a mountain laurel that's about to bloom, but hasn't quite yet. Any day now. Oh, here we go. Got some mountain laurel, the early ones. So pretty. These are all mountain laurel, so they're gonna be lining the trail pretty soon, but I'm just a little too early for them. Saw so many of these millipedes on the AT. So the first thing you gotta do on this hike is go uphill for like 3.5 miles. It's only 2,500 feet of elevation gain, but I tell you what, in this humidity, all these rocks and roots, feels like a lot. Gotten spoiled by the nice smooth Colorado trails. Looks like we got ourselves some blueberry bushes. Check it out, I found my favorite tree down here. This is a sassafras tree. I think it's so charming because it can have 3 different leaves. The regular one, the ghost, and sometimes a glove, which this one doesn't have. And if you break a piece of a leaf off and smell it, it smells like Fruit Loops. I know they used to make a drink out of it too that's similar to root beer, like a sassafras beer or something, but I don't think that's very common anymore. I think it has carcinogens in it, but it's probably delicious based on the smell of the leaves. Oh, here's the little glove or mitten on another tree. This little guy. Somebody's been drilling in here. What a beautiful day in Virginia. This is so East Coast hiking, like rock stairs straight uphill. Ooh, we got some beautiful Blue Ridge views. Okay, so I'm pretty much at the top now. So this begins the fun part with all of the rock scrambling, which is the part I really love. Oh, heck yeah, you guys. Mountain azaleas, how pretty are these? See that lizard in there? You really got to pay attention to the blazes on this trail because it goes through a lot of rocks and it's easy to lose the trail if you're not paying attention. And down. And going back up. Getting tired from all this rock scrambling. Back up. So I just remembered as I'm doing this rock scrambling that this hike is actually what made me want to start rock climbing years ago. I did this hike one New Year's Day with some friends and I was just really digging all the rock scrambling. And I decided then and there that I was going to go take a rock climbing lesson. And I did. And I don't climb nearly as much as I used to, but I've just gotten back into it this year and it's been really fun. So I'm just reminded that I have this hike to be grateful for. Ooh, here we go. We're just about at the summit. Ooh, that was really tiring. And the view from the top. Made it to the summit of Old Rag. Whew, that was tough. I'm tired and I have 5.2 miles to get back to the car. It's all downhill though. Side note, I would not come out here and do this if you're not in pretty good shape. It was harder than I remember, but I did have COVID for a month in April and it's only May 13th. So I'd imagine that has a little something to do with how hard it felt. But seriously though, I still wouldn't come out here if you weren't in good shape. Pro tip, if you're in the mid-Atlantic, you gotta pack out a Wawa sub. Come on. Oh, yay, so many more azaleas. And it's all downhill from here, but it's 5 miles downhill. Oh, look at what we got here. Lady slippers. So this trail has one AT style shelter And this is it, the old rag shelter. Ooh, dirt floors, how primitive. After a couple miles downhill, you pop out on this really wide, nice fire road. And gotta say, I'm digging it. So this is a heavily used area, as I mentioned, so these are all great points. Just remember to take the best care of the wilderness that you can when you're using these trails. So Shenandoah National Park is known for having a big black bear population. And when I used to live in DC and come down here fairly often, constantly I would round a corner and somebody would be there and they would say, "Oh, you just missed a bear. It was just right here." And then I would never see said bear. Never. The entire time I lived in DC, came down to Shenandoah, never saw a black bear. And then when I was hiking the AT, same exact thing would happen for the entire Shenandoah. I'd round a corner. "Oh, you just missed a bear. Oh, you just missed a mother bear and some cubs." I knew someone who saw 13 black bears in the Shenandoah. I didn't see a single one, except I did see a mother and cubs from a car. But that doesn't count, because those aren't hiking bears, those are car bears. So it doesn't count. Anyway, so I've been keeping my eyes peeled today. Of course, they warn you, like, there are bears around. Haven't seen one, but got about 2.5 miles left to go on this trail, so we'll see what happens. And I am camping at like a car camping campsite in Shenandoah tonight, so you never know, I could see a bear there too, but again, that wouldn't be a hiking bear. Let me know if you've been to Shenandoah National Park, and if so, have you seen any bears while you've been out hiking in the park? Leaves of 3, let it be. Oh, yep, more of this bad poison ivy climbing up this tree. Remember, if it's got the 3 leaves, and oftentimes it'll have a little notch on the leaves, or one of its leaves, it's poison ivy. But there is another vine that climbs trees. I'm gonna try to find some that has 5 leaves, and that's Virginia creeper. Okay, there we go, that's Virginia creeper. I can't get too close because there's poison ivy around this tree, but Virginia creeper, 5 leaves. What's a hike without a big ugly bug? Though he might take offense to that. This big hairy vine looks like poison ivy too. No bueno. Yuck. And the last little part of this trail is a paved path, which I don't love honestly, but it is what it is. And I'm just about back in my car. No black bear sightings. Wah wah. Maybe I'll see one at the campsite tonight. We'll see. Oh, here's the overflow lot. This is pretty big too. Lots of parking here now. And there is a cut through via a bridge from that parking lot to the main trailhead where my car is. Oh my gosh, what a great hike. Still loved it. Spring in Virginia is a dream. Humid, but a humid dream. But seriously, just lovely. Okay, really interesting how this has like a little chute coming up the top. That's cool and interesting. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe for more hiking, backpacking, outdoor, and travel content. And I'll see y'all next time.